I'd like to call to order the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission for January 9th, 2025. Madam Clerk, please.
Director McCarthy Olmsted.
Present.
Director Hedges.
Present.
Director Sloan.
Present.
Director Lopez Taff.
Present.
Director Nava, I'm so sorry.
Here.
Director Plucky Bomb, I practiced that. And Chair Spees.
All right, I'm present. Thank you. And so let's now do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to pick on one of our newest council member, Plucky Bomb, or Director Plucky Bomb, if you would please start the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Plucky Bomb. Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please read the Metro Replay Statement and meeting announcement?
This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov and will replay January 11th on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/metrocable14. The Commission fosters public engagement during the meeting and encourages public participation, civility, and the use of courteous language. To make a comment in person, please fill out a speaker request form and hand it to the clerk staff. The chairperson will open public comments for each off-agenda item, and direct the clerk to call the name of each speaker. When the clerk calls your name, please come to the podium and make your comment. You may also send written comments by email to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record.
Okay, thank you. We will move to matters not on the posted agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for matters not on the public agenda?
Chair Spees, we do not.
All right, thank you. Then we will next move to consent matters, and I think we need to ask for consent, I guess you need to read out the items? No?
It's just consent items numbers 2 through 4, and if there's anything that the directors would like to pull and speak to.
Okay. But first, I'll ask for public comments.
I do not have any public comments for consent.
All righty. Do we have any comments or questions from directors? If not, yes, please.
I just have one comment. I am looking at it and I'm just concerned for January of next year. We always have quorum issues in the beginning because people are still being appointed by their city council. There's movement. If we want to push January 15th of 2026 to maybe February.
Okay. I don't have any specific problems relative to that, but Mr. Ayala, can you?
So there is a little bit of an issue in that when the elections occur or the appointments occur, they are scrambling last minute to get some of the forms ready so that we can get a quorum. You're at quorum today, but just by one vote. So it is a concern for all of us, sir.
Okay. So I don't have an issue with moving that date. I think the challenge will be where it fits on the calendar with every other meeting, right? So are you asking then for just us to take a look at what that date would be or to try to find a date today?
I would give staff the opportunity to see if there is a date maybe later in January or beginning of February in which we can move that one meeting to.
So another recommendation would be that you approve it as it is today, and then we come back in March with an amendment, and then we have a better opportunity to find a date on the calendar that works for everybody.
I like that.
Okay, great.
Perfect. I think that sounds good. Are there any other comments related to the consent matters? If no, could I get a motion?
I'll move.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. And we were going to use the voting buttons. There we go. We can vote, please.
Motion
What
passes.
happened to Director Sloan? We lost you. Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Is there an undo button?
Let's try it again for you.
Okay.
There you go.
Press the top button. I'm assuming you're saying yes. I shouldn't be presumptuous.
For Director Nod, there we go.
Okay, there we have it. Perfect. So the consent matters will pass. And now we'll move to discussion matters. And
Okay, item number 5 is to receive and file the audited financial statements and other reports for the fiscal years ending June 30th, 2020 and June 30th, 2021.
okay. And I believe that's Mr. Ayala. Are you presenting this?
I can. There's internal audits. You have at least 3 different accountants constantly.
Your microphone, I don't think.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was on. Sorry. Okay, let me move it over so it's a little bit. How's that? Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
All right, so this is an audit that was done internally. It speaks to quality assurance and transparency of commission administrative business. The auditor found 3 items. We've addressed those items. For me, as your executive director, there's no issue related to liability. There's no personnel risk. We're not getting involved in any litigation. These are largely internal matters that we have since cleaned up. Our responses are here. One of them has to do with basically keeping a position on our books that was unfunded and created some accounting issues around that. One of them was around dates revolving capital asset inventory. And then the third issue was, I believe it's related to the minutes for these meetings and the process for making sure that we file those in a timely manner. All matters have been taken care of by the commission or by your commission staff and are in process of being resolved at this time. Again, QA issues, nothing that creates liability for us.
Perfect. And nothing relatively, well, were you finished? I'm sorry.
I am done, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're done. Okay, let me go to public comment first, I think is where I should go.
There is no public comment for item number 5.
No public comment. Okay, so then let me come back to the directors. Does anyone have any questions relative to that? I have some insight that I want to say, but I don't want to get in front of anybody else. Okay. Nothing? Okay. I mean, these are internal issues. This isn't about a fiduciary responsibility. These are quality things that just simply need to happen. We have had a bit of turmoil over the last year or so. And so, I appreciate that the auditor has found those. I know that they'll be corrected, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the transparency.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, and then we will move on to, because that's a receive and file, there's no action necessary.
Would request a motion to formally receive and file.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Second? Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Well, we're going to have voting buttons here in a second. Oh, and I'm sorry, is that request to speak still from, no, it just needs to be cleared? Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so we will move on to item number 6. Madam Clerk.
Item number 6 is to adopt the resolution approving the fiscal year 2024-25 Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission Community Grant Program grant and scholarship recipients, approving the pro forma agreements, and approving the retroactive extension of November 1st, 2024 application deadline to November 15th, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ayala.
Yes, sir. So there are 3 grants for consideration and discussion today. I can flip to the next screen so we can see the names of those if we can. Oh, is that my responsibility? Hold on, my bad. First meeting. Okay, thank you.
We certainly can
I have
when you
some
push the
control
button.
here. Thank you so much. So the initial cohort of grants came in, we did an evaluation on them, and these are the 3 that are moving forward for commission consideration and discussion today. I do want to say that this is in no way an end of this process. There are, all the applicants are still in the running for potential funding, and there is still quite a bit of funding to be awarded. This is the initial group. Any grant applicant that submits their grant by February 1st, and anybody that has previously submitted a grant will be open to consideration for future funding. And when we get a little bit further into this presentation, I can discuss what that process is, or I can move forward with it now. We can sort of discuss it as we're looking at these, whatever the commission would like.
Take your choice, whatever works for you.
Okay, so I'm going to jump to next steps then. So there's probably about 20 grants still for consideration. What I'm going to ask is if the commission has any staffers or any community members that would like to be part of a board, a committee, if you will, that is willing to sit down with us and evaluate those grants and help us identify any that they would like us to work with, to push forward to the ad hoc committee for future consideration, and then future consideration and discussion, including be voted on for potential funding from this commission. With that many grants, I am asking you for some assistance in evaluating that, and I think there should be staffers or community members that would want to involve themselves in that process, and that would allow us to have a much more global community looking at this process. Do you want grants, or I can back up and just talk about the scholarships, because that's also part of it. I'm sorry, I can also back up and talk about scholarships. That's part of this conversation.
Whatever works naturally for you.
Okay, on the scholarship recipients, there were a total of 8. We are recommending 7 of them for funding. This is them. The first cohort is from Folsom Cordova Unified School District. One of these individuals is looking for some scholarship funding around photography, hardware, software, and production of his media choice. The other 2 are part of a video production class, an advanced video production class at Folsom Cordova Unified, Vista in particular. If they're funded, their funding will go into a student government account with the student government, and the teacher who's in charge of Video Production 3 will use that money to do a full production. So what they do is they take the class, they work on script writing, directing, acting, finding locations to shoot, costuming. It's a whole process. The students learn how to create actual content, and then that content is later shown, and they have what's like an award ceremony. I don't want to call it an Academy Award of, the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Let's call it a red carpet event. They've extended invitations to the commission and my staff to attend that event. Jumping to the next one, unless there's questions about that one. The next one is San Juan Unified School District. They want to attend a national conference in April. It's up in Washington. Same thing. Let me get to my notes to make sure I don't leave anything out. My notes aren't here. Okay, so basically they're going to learn how to produce content with other high school students, and they look at all issues related to publication, copyright laws, writing, editing, how to get published. They also look at the legal parameters around which you can publish First Amendment rights. So it's a total package. I believe it's a 2 or 3 day conference. This money would assist them in attending that conference to cover travel fees and to cover the expenses of attending the conference, including a per diem. That's what we have for the commission today.
Okay.
And then if I back up, I can talk about the recipients on the grant funding. We're working in concert with the PEG channels. This cohort of individuals we've met with them. They understand the parameters under which they can produce content. They're working with the PEG channels to produce their content. That somewhat keeps the costs down. It also assures us that in working with the PEG channels, there is a community standard that is being met with all of the content that they produce.
Okay.
That's my presentation. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. I see I have a director request to speak, but first let me go out and ask for public comment related to item 6.
We have a public comment from Sean Kilcoyne. He's coming. He's preparing.
Well, thank you. Sorry, guys. How you doing? Thank you for being here. My name is Sean Kilcoyne. This is Skibbity Bill. Say hi, Skibbity Bill. Hey. We are here to represent a few things. I just want to talk to you guys and say thank you so much for offering this grant. Go ahead and say it. Thank you so much. Sorry, he's got a little bit of laryngitis today. He can't talk that much. It's okay. I'll do most of the talking. It's okay, man. So I am the former producer of Puppetville News. And we started this project with Troy Lee and Shutter Films early last year after working for a year doing Chowderheart and Friends, which is also another show that I produce and write and create on Access Sacramento. So real fast, I just want to thank Access Sacramento. I think they're awesome. It's been a great place to learn. I started there just last year, and I already have a show. I wanted to show one more thing. Nice enough, we won an award. So for Chowderheart and Friends, I won an award for Best New Show. And so I did put in my application. I'm just wondering, yeah. So the Best New Show, you want to hold it? Okay, he's going to hold it. We'll just put it here. That way he can be silent. It's all right. It says Best New Show. That's my name, Sean Michael Kilcoyne. Like I said, I'm really glad that this thing's going on here. We got an awesome grant, and I did submit an application with an amendment. I'm not sure if you guys got those. Did you get? Is there anybody here who actually saw my link or anything by any chance? Okay. Well, you can catch my link at Access Sacramento Channel 17 on demand. If you type in the word chowder, you'll find all 8 episodes that I produced last year. It was an awesome pleasure, and I'm just really hoping to continue to do it. So with that said, I understand that there are parameters with this grant as far as just supporting diversity and supporting marginalized voices, right? And I believe that with my show, I've had the opportunity to do that. We've had several different characters on the show. We've had a queer character. We've had a Muslim character. We had a gay character. You know, these are things that we've made up and written into the show. And I think they really do represent voices of people that don't get heard on cable TV. So when I started the show, my target audience was people that were watching cable. I was the people that are sitting at home, especially my parents. They're 75 years old, and they sit there and they watch TV all day. You know, they're not Zooming, they're not going to the internet, they're watching cable. And this was this is my target audience. And I think if you guys watch the show, if you get a chance to,
Mr.
type in Chowder on where I said to go. Got 16
Sir,
seconds.
if I could just put you on hold for just one quick second. I'm going to let you
yeah.
keep going. Give me just a second. Given as light as our agenda is, and he's the only speaker signed up, I'm going to ask if we give him another 2 minutes. But if you could, please, sir,
For sure.
get to the.
I'll
Okay.
wrap it up. I know I wanted to introduce myself to everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
My goal today in talking to you guys was just to, if you haven't heard about Chowderheart and Friends, I did fill out an application for the grant. I think it was a fair asking request, and I definitely think that given the parameters of the goals of the grant, that I can be a representative to all those communities. I'd like to have the Hood Chef on, Jay Poo. I'd love to have Kier and just cross things like that. We started the whole thing doing holidays. So we've done Christmas, we've done Chinese New Year, we've done Halloween. With that format, we can actually do every holiday of every culture, and just take that and have those voices heard. And that's the medium that I would love to go forward. So I know there's another round coming up in February. So I'd love if you would take a closer look at it. And look at some of our content. And, like I said, I would love to formulate something that's more inclusive, because you get what you get when you have no budget. With a little bit of budget, we can have the people we want, we can have the guests we want, we can feature the whole community. So, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Kilcoyne. And I know that, again, this is definitely not the last, and I know we're going to do another round soon, and I know that Mr. Ayala had mentioned that he'll be reaching out, and so please continue conversation. Okay.
So I did send an email to the clerk last night. Did you guys happen to get that forwarded to?
We did.
To you guys?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, with no other speakers left to sign up?
Madam Chair.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I see some speakers or some requests to speak. Director Taff.
Thank you so much. Just a question on the award recipients, the grant award recipients and the scholarship recipients. Would we ever have a chance as a body to hear or experience their information or get presentations here at the board meeting?
Yes, so we have done Zoom meetings with each of the potential recipients, and we have let them know that the board would very much like to have them come back and report out on what they were able to do with any funding that they received and what their experiences were. And some of them want to show you at least a summary video or a summary presentation of what they've done with the funding. And all of them are open to that, both the grant and the scholarship applicants.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, and Director Hedges.
Thanks. How were these advertised, the grants and the, what else were they? The scholarships?
So there's our website, the Cable Commission website, and then additionally, the commission members had the ability to reach out to any of the school districts. We have a PSA today. I think you're almost queuing me up for this, so thank you for that. We have a PSA that we'd like to show the commission today that we're going to push out on Metro 14 that very much speaks to this issue. So we're going to continue to advertise that these funds are available.
Wonderful.
I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Great.
But in addition, I believe there was a news, not review, what do you call it, interview, excuse me, that someone participated in, Mr. Ayala.
Yes, sir. So I believe it was my one of my very first shifts here, and I want to thank Julian for helping prep me for that. CBS came out and did a story on us. They talked to Access 14, who's here today. They may want to speak to that issue. They also interviewed me, and they put together a very nice story. So that story made it out onto CBS Evening News. Additionally, I know that Cap Radio also put out a PSA on the program, and that some of the other stations subsequent to the CBS news story also talked about it. And then I know that at least one of the board members included it in a media release also.
Okay. Thank you. And Director Sloan.
Can you hear me now? I wanted to thank Mr. Ayala. When we met as an ad hoc committee and we were reviewing the applications, it was the first time, at least that I'm aware of, where we were having a discussion about where we could increase the capacity of our applicants by encouraging them to partner with Access Sacramento. So to the extent we might have had redundancy where someone applied for something that Access could provide, it returned more resources to actual programming, and I think it saved us money while also creating a greater opportunity for growth amongst the applicants. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and I hope that all of the applicants will maximize that opportunity with Access Sacramento.
You're welcome, and I read all 20 grants word for word that were in the initial cohort. And yes, there was some redundancy there, and so we looked at ways to sort of help them streamline production so they could focus more on telling the story and creating the content. And that was working in collaboration and partnership with our PEG channels. Yes.
Very good. I see no one else requesting to speak, so I would be happy to entertain a motion.
Chair Spees, I believe that there is a video for this item as well, Metro Cable.
Sorry, I turned my.
Oh, I thought that was going to be part of your.
I can do it.
The
at the end. I can
Sacramento
do it now.
Metropolitan Cable Television Commission
like it's running.
has launched a community grant program. This program will help develop community programming and promote public television channels as a powerful tool for community engagement, creative expression, education, and cultural exchange. The Community Grant Program offers up to $50,000 in funding for video projects and $2,500 in video production scholarships. Its goal is to empower individuals, students, and organizations to showcase their stories and contribute to the diverse media landscape of the greater Sacramento region by producing and distributing high-quality, informative, and engaging content for community programming and public education and government television channels. For more information on how to apply,
visit sacmetrocable.tv.
Thank you.
I like it. Good. So now I get to more comments. Anybody have any? That was awesome. I thought it was really very cool. Anyone else? I don't want to step on anyone. Okay.
I just want to give credit to Dallin Swenson. He's our multimedia technician, and he's been working on this for us, and it is our intent to put this out on the Metro 14 channel.
Okay, so this was done organically by staff?
It was done internally,
okay.
yes, and we have some very skilled staff here, and I appreciate the time they put into producing this for us.
Oh, absolutely. That was great. Now we're gonna have to see if we can get some local channels to play that for us, right? So awesome. All right. So do I have a motion? Nobody fight about it here. How about Director Pluckebaum? Okay. Motion from Director Pluckebaum. Anybody else?
Second.
Second from Director Taff. All right. Let's vote. Perfect.
And the
Looks
motion
good.
carries.
Motion passes. Okay, so we will now move to separate matters, and we'll go to the receive and file reports of channel licensees. Did you sign up, or are we just doing it in order of on the? Okay, in the past they've signed up. Access Sacramento, you're first. Hey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Giroux. I'm the Executive Director at Access Sacramento, your much beloved community media center, where everybody lifts their voices. This is the place to be. Your PSA, you keep talking about Metro 14. I'm a little jealous. Send it our way. We have an e-newsletter and social media where thousands look at our posts. We'd also put it, of course, on our two channels, channel 17 and 18, which we also air. A lot of people watch our channels through our website who can't afford cable television. So there's that. And we have KUBU, 96.5, low-frequency FM channel. So if you want to write a short script, all of our, we have 48 people who are independent producers, and we provide them with information that they will talk the PSA for you. So we look forward to getting something like that. I just passed this to Sean. It's a packet on it's a love letter there. It is our annual audit. Yay. Since I started 4 years ago, my whole goal was, as a mature nonprofit, I was trying to tighten our belt, because with COVID and the insurance industry hardening and doubling the costs of liability insurance and workers' comp, et cetera, it's been very hard for us to have a balanced budget. So we have systematically gone through every contract and figured out cheaper ways to execute our mission. And so what we receive is grants from you, one of which is PEG funding, and we ask for specific items that are capital expenses. And usually you give us a small budget also for general equipment that we're not sure. Maybe it breaks down, maybe we forgot to ask for something. And so this year we can proudly say that we underspent on capital expenses by $50,000. So we return that money to you each year. We wait for our audit to happen. Our audit is a little sluggish. Our year ends in June, and we usually can't get our act together until the end of December. And we pass it off, and that has traditionally been sort of the way. And then I cut a check. I prematurely cut a check last year for the Cable Commission, and the auditor smacked my hand and said, wait till the end of the audit. Okay. So I do want to sort of give you a heads up. We have a fleet of 3 vehicles. One of them is a lovely high-definition mobile TV studio, which actually some of Metro 14's employees have cut their, have been using as well. And we have a retrofitted, really old RV. So when the truck goes out, the RV goes out, and equipment's in it, and when it's raining, the crew shelters in there. And then we have a van, and we affectionately call the van Van Go, because we're not sure whether it's ever going to go. It is 19 years old now, has great mileage, but 19 years old, and it's gotten to a point where it's almost impossible to get any parts. And I have some employees who refuse to drive it because it's that janky. So what we were doing is we were trying to we thought it would break down this year. And so I was squeezing the budget thinking, we're going to have to buy a new van. So I am hoping that instead of cutting a check back to the Cable Commission, I'm hoping to bring forward an estimate to you, and not in the next budget, but in this budget year, see if we could use that $50,000 to apply towards the purchase of a van, which will most likely cost about $90,000. We're looking for something that has 10 to 15 people capacity. So I just wanted to pose that to you. I'm not quite sure if that's an acceptable thing. I know it's above the limit for an executive director to make that decision, so I thought I would just float that out there to you.
I would expect that the proper channel would be to have a conversation with Mr. Ayala, and then he can work that through the staffing process.
Yeah, I'd like to just meet with Josh at a later time about this, see if they can encumber the money, and then if not, I would imagine we can take into account next year's fiscal situation and work with them on funding this project.
We would not
For
need,
consideration for funding
Yes.
the project, yes.
we would not need any additional funding from the
Right, that's where the encumbrance comes in, where they would potentially be encumbering money from the money that they've already been given, and if they want to encumber the money, are they going to be expending it before the end of the fiscal year, or is this project going to take it past the fiscal year? It's largely just an internal issue. I guess for me, you're getting a tentative, yes, we'll work with Access 14 to help them meet the
Right,
subject
I
to
just
the
didn't want to set
commission's
up the
approval.
expectation that the answer was yes, right?
No, I just
Maybe I misheard it. It's not a no by any stretch, but it's certainly we got to work it through the staffing and legal process.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I thought I would be able to have an estimate by now, but apparently Ford does not want our business. So I'll have to, I don't know how hard it is to get an estimate, but they're not used to working that way. So we'll go ahead to another vendor and try to get estimates properly. So I wanted
I have
to,
a question, excuse me,
Please.
through the chair.
I'm sorry? Director
Mr.
Sloan.
Ayala, will this, or Mr. Nelson, would this need to come back to the board for action? It feels like we're talking about a non-agendized item at this time.
Yeah, it potentially could. And so I think, at this point, we do have direction and we'll work. And then to the extent some needs to come back to the board for action, we'll make sure that's on a future agenda.
Thank you.
Right. That was my point, was that it had to go through staff.
right, but the high cost of it, I think it's above the approval. Okay.
Because it's not on the agenda, it would have to come back regardless. It's not about the cost. I would be careful talking about any individual automotive dealers until you have closed your
okay.
deal.
Maybe it'll inspire them to take my business. I did want to point out that Sac Life TV, I had a meeting with Ron Herman this morning, and he apologizes for not being here. He's going to be in a shoot this afternoon. I did want to tell you guys two things. This week, I received a couple of sort of sweet testimonials from a couple of young men, which one of them I just received yesterday, one a couple of days ago, so that you can understand where your money is going. So there's a young man called Will, and his mother was in contact with me, and he's been taking all of our workshops and classes. I think he's around 20 now. I'm not 100% sure. And he was taking these workshops, but he was waiting for a heart transplant. And now he got his transplant, and he's back taking workshops. And he just took one for lighting on a budget. And so, thoughts of we satisfy a need for people who have handicaps because we have physical classes, and we have things like editing so that are non-physical, and we're ADA compliant in the community, in the Coloma Community Center, so we're a good place for people to land when they want to take a short workshop or a long class. The other testimonial I got was from a gentleman named Tyler. He says, I'm 22 years old and just graduated from UCSC in June, and I have my own basketball talk radio show with you guys on KUBU 96.5 in Sacramento. That has helped me to get a job with iHeartRadio and become a news producer with them all across California. I just got promoted and worked my first Kings game as a media member, a real dream come true, and it would not have happened without the opportunity I had at KUBU. So we're that sort of grassroots organization that people need. They go to college and they don't get enough hands-on training, and then they come and work for us and or volunteer and or take classes and workshops. So your funding is helping with the foundational money for us to exist. The education program is not really financed through the grants that you give us. We do other work to try to make that happen. So if you consider coming to our place called Sacramento Film Festival and buy some tickets, that helps fund the program. And I just was wondering if you had any questions about our education program. No. Okay. And so we're not 14, we're Access 17 and 18, by the way. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Sorry.
Okay.
I stand corrected. I should refer to them as Sacramento Access. My apologies.
Nope,
Not a
just
problem.
Access SAC.
Access.
Thank you. Access SAC.
All
All
righty.
right, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next up would Capital Public Radio. I don't think we have Public Radio in the room. KVIE.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. David Lowe, President and General Manager with KVIE, and put us down also for being able to air that PSA. We could put that on KVIE 2, which is our PEG channel. Happy to put that online. And then just a couple quick updates about kids. One is we were proud to have launched the national series Carl the Collector, and it is the first children's series with a primary character who has autism, and it's actually voiced by a 10-year-old boy who has autism, and we're getting a lot of great feedback around the country, around the community on that. Then the second one is just an announcement that we're going to be having a Be My Neighbor Day, and it is an open house at KVIE. It's going to be in April, and it's designed to have kids and families come in and talk about being caring neighbors. We're going to have the fire department there with their Touch a Truck program. The kids will have some crafts. Daniel Tiger will be in attendance, and the kids are going to write some cards to first responders and the like. So we're really excited about that, and I'll have some more information about that soon. And that's all I have for a quick update.
Great. Well, I like the Mr. Rogers touch. Won't you be my neighbor?
Exactly.
I'm
It's
assuming
all
that's
about
what it
Mr.
was, right?
Rogers.
I'm showing my age because everybody else in the room is younger than me, but
And we all know, but it's also about Daniel Tiger. It's the new age.
you got to assume that everybody else is younger, right?
I don't want to agree too loudly.
All right. Thank you. Any comments from? No? Okay.
Oh, I'd like to just get some more information as soon as you had it on the timing for that program.
For the Be My Neighbor Day? Fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful.
So it's April 4th. It's from 10 to 4. It'll be at KVIE, and I'll get some more information to you soon.
We might know some other people who'd like to engage.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
And we're reaching out to some other nonprofit partners to be able to have, we'll have some vendors and the like.
Wonderful.
Should be a great day.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And Sac Life TV is not able to be here today, and so Sacramento Educational Cable Consortium.
Got it. Hi, everybody. Jessica Rhodes with SECC. So great to see you all. I don't want to be left out. Send a test too. We'll play it on the channels, right?
There we go.
Everybody
Perfect.
else is doing it.
I like it.
We are super excited. We're going through some big changes. So a lot of the school districts have started to kind of have their own video teams in-house. So a lot of our previous production had been going out to kind of capture content and PSAs for our school districts. But as that work is being done, it gives us the opportunity to open our doors and find new opportunities. So we're still working with smaller districts. You'll see a video in a little bit. We did work with Robla. They have a dual language immersion program that they are trying to highlight within their community and share out. So we help them with that video. But we're also looking at learning opportunities that are happening at the school districts and sharing those out. So for example, San Juan just had a big convention at their school district for their families about digital citizenship. We all know how important that is. So we went out, we captured the content, and we shared it on the channels and with other school districts, just so everybody has that opportunity to kind of learn the same lessons. It is the same across the county. So that's really exciting for us. Also, got to put it in there, the SEVO Awards are coming up. The deadline for, just for you, Kevin, just for you, we did the invitation and had it for today, because I knew you were going to ask.
If you haven't been, you really need to put it on the calendar. I'm not kidding. Director Pluckybum, You should go if you haven't had the opportunity to go in the past. Anyway.
So we do have our entry PSA for you all to view, and also we are always looking for judges. You can judge in person or you can judge via Zoom. If you go to our website, there on the very home page is a sign-up page. So if you would like to watch some videos, they are adorable and would always love your feedback. So please feel free to check that out and sign up. And we also will be doing our defining awards again this year. So we'll reach out to some of you. Hopefully you can help host a session with that also. And then I think that's it.
Perfect.
We have a video. Can we watch the
Right.
video?
We can. Absolutely. Roll tape.
I was trying to stay away from it. It's not a tape anymore.
Again, I'm showing my age.
The DLI program is an opportunity for our students to learn in 2 languages. In ROBLA, it's English and in Spanish. Our goal is that they achieve proficiency for both reading, writing, and speaking.
It really just helps fortify that Spanish base. They learn a lot of academic in Spanish, and as they get older, it'll be easier to pick up the academics in English.
Research also shows that the best time to learn a second language is when you're young, when their brains are really pliable and ready to take on that language and build the neural pathways necessary to really be fluent, to be able to speak without an accent, to really be able to grab that language.
I think this is a really amazing opportunity to give students and young people a chance to compete, be a part of a team, be a part of a club that might not be open to them otherwise.
Just from experience at home, I know that, he tends to get upset when he loses, but I think that Mr. McDowell is really working with them to ensure that, they learn that sometimes they lose and it's okay.
In the beginning of the year, we go over sportsmanship. So it's not blaming people, thanking them after a match, how to not be rude, how to learn to get better, and then also how to teach other people to get better.
If you want to join the esports team, then I'd say it'd be really good because you get to learn new things in video games and you get to meet new people.
My name is Nicole Naditz. I support teaching and learning with technology. So I support our teachers and others with how to use technology in their classes. So essentially, as soon as your students start using any kind of device, phone, Chromebooks like they have at school, they are now digital citizens. A lot of aspects to digital citizenship. But in general, it just means using online platforms and the tools that allow us to type in those platforms or speak in those platforms or share and create content in those platforms, using them responsibly and ethically, right? And in ways that reflect how we would like to be citizens in person.
The Student Educational Video Awards is the contest to showcase your educational video productions. From public service announcecements to school news, documentary, instructional, and creative expression categories, there's something for everyone. Learn all the details at secctv.org/SIVA. Entries are due February 26. Share your vision with the SIVAs.
I know I forgot something. You also have our year-end report. There should be a copy for everybody. So that just highlights the programs, everything that we did over the year, our committees, kind of just in general what the organization does, and then our financials are also included in there.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect. Any questions? No? We good? All right. Thank you. All right. We don't do public comment on these items, right?
They were the ones that signed up. So.
Okay. Then we'll next receive and file reports of the state franchisees. Are there any of the state franchisees in the room? I don't think so. All right. And then we move next to the executive director report. Mr. Ayala.
Thank you. A couple of internal items. We have announced a promotional recruitment process for our ASO 3 that closes on January 17th. We are actively trying to fill a senior office assistant vacancy, and we are currently onboarding 2 new production assistants. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you much. All right, then we will move to Board of Director comments, reports, updates, questions. Director Sloan.
Mr. Ayala, we'd like to take a moment to thank you for accepting the position and surviving your first meeting.
I feel well supported by all of you. I really appreciate that.
good.
Thank you.
Could you please share the employment opportunities with us in case we might have avenues to push those out for you?
The which appointments?
The ones I'm sorry,
The promotional?
the job opportunities? Are they just promotional? You already have people in those? I may have misheard you.
They're promotional. The process has been announced. I believe it's an internal announcement.
Okay.
However, that will create opportunities, openings, and that would be a good time for me to report back to you and have anyone that's interested in those positions apply.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anyone else signed up. I guess, Mr. Ayala, fantastic. First one done, right? I hope everybody had a great holiday season, and we got another year in front of us. I think we're moving in the right direction. And again, I want to thank staff for doing a fantastic job over the last few years, and really appreciate your help and support. I know we're going to have a great 2025. So, with that, we'll adjourn.